Make America Great Again, MAGA, is Donald Trump's iconic slogan of his 2016 campaign. While the phrase "Make Hope Great Again" is never spoken verbatim in Far Cry 5, it is woven into the cult ideology and appears in visual and textual elements throughout the game. According to the game plot, posters, signs, and speeches by members of the Eden's Gate cult emphasize the idea of purification and Hope's return to a certain idealized state. Taking into account the fact that the game takes place in the United States, gamers also noted a clear parallel to MAGA rhetoric, which called for the return of America's greatness. The key art of the game was also aimed at reinforcing these obvious parallels. Promotional materials such as trailers and posters depicted the cult using patriotic and messianic symbols. As noted earlier, U.S. flags and religious symbolism were prominently featured, provoking direct associations with Donald Trump's MAGA. Moreover, this reference was clearly made in dialogues of the cult leader's entourage. According to the story, in the region controlled by Joseph Seed, who led the cult, you can find graffiti with similar propaganda or hear remarks subtly echoing Trump's famous slogan, e.g., calls to return hope to its rightful owners or to revive the region. It is fair to note that Far Cry 5's religious and political elements described above, including the reference to MAGA transmitted in the propaganda of Eden's Gate cult through posters, dialogues, and general rhetoric. All of this was characterized by critics as subtle and superficial hints without obvious provocations rather than a coarse manifestation of propaganda. This led some to question whether the game was really attempting to parallel real-world political events in the United States, and even more so to discredit American President Donald Trump through Far Cry 5. Critics came to the conclusion that this game is nothing more than a political satire of American conservatism and populism. There were those who saw the game as a blatant provocation, while others took it as a funny reference. However, considering all the embedded images in Far Cry 5 and the involvement of anti-cult consultant Rick Ross in the game development, this cannot reasonably be described as mere satire, a happenstance, a coincidence, or even a provocation. For masters of manipulation who have spent decades skillfully influencing human consciousness and the subconscious, such subtle cues are far more significant and effective, since they allow subliminal implants to penetrate deep into the player's subconscious and remain there for as long as possible. It's also essential to note the conditions in which this so-called satire is presented. The game's events unfold amid relentless violence and brutality, at times so graphic that it triggered disgust among gamers, as noted in several reviews of this game. In such a sauce of contradiction, a blend of manipulation, philosophy, and violence, combined with vivid images of natural landscapes and immersive audiovisual